be probably closer than some of the ballistic games that, from the grand finals. They've actually like got so many kills in the early game, like classic China style, whereas like SPT were not able to perform like the same kind of style.
Cool. All right, so another reason why BTG could actually be China's hope at BlizzCon potentially, as we said many times before, only 2 teams out of China are going to make it to Los Angeles. I should say Anaheim. It's not particularly Los Angeles.
Yeah, Los Angeles is like the big area, and like, yeah, Anaheim is the more specific area because LA is really big. As we do end up seeing the Maiev. And here comes the double Shimada band from the A-Team. Are we going to see an Elton band? No, they banned the white main.
Diablo made it through, so is any of the teams willing to first pick it? We're going to find out in a bit.
I would assume so, because the A-Team, they have the player formerly known as Kaitu. They don't first pick it, though.
Yeah.
But they have the player formerly known as Kaitu, known as Yitskuk. So that would, I wouldn't be surprised to see Diablo taken if BTG don't steal it away now.
So that's indeed a good question, but no. I mean, beyond the game, there are no fools here, otherwise they wouldn't be standing at the tippity top of the table right now. They know exactly about the power levels of both Raynor and Diablo, so they're not going to let those 2 go through. However, I think at this point, if the A-Team wants to secure themselves the second top warrior of the table right now, they need to pick the Muradin right now. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure it's probably going to get banned.
Yeah, it should be banned pretty quickly if it's not picked, but they go for Garrosh. No Muradin here. Garrosh can potentially be much more punishing against the Diablo. Like,
true.
This is the whole thing. Basically, you'd pick Diablo if you and ban Garrosh is the idea, because Diablo, when he charges in, he's obviously directly where Garrosh wants him to be. Whereas Muradin, he has an escape tool, where Johanna has Iron Skin. Diablo doesn't have those tools, which is why Garrosh can be considered to be pretty reasonable against him.
I was going to say, Tetra, that I would like to see one of the 2 picks here right now. One of them being Malthael, but Beyond the Game definitely took care of that by banning him out. And the other one would have been Tychus. Because on the one hand, I think Tychus is doing particularly well against heroes like Diablo, who are just such juicy targets, who are normally too far away from him to really threaten him unless you're out of position as a Tychus. And then you also have a Jaina in the mix, so you combine ability damage with raw auto attack minigun splash. So let's see if they're actually going to go for a little bit of percentage damage. Is there anything else left that could threaten a Diablo in some way, shape, or form? Maybe another ranged assassin. I mean, a Leoric could to some extent. They still need a soul laner too.
Leoric is definitely who I'm thinking of. Other than that, you're just going into any kind of ranged damage dealer where we're talking about someone like... That's not, but it does have percentage damage, potentially.
It can be, though.
That definitely has percentage damage. And Artanis. Bruiser Artanis. That is an out there pick. It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Tetra, is that
it pays off for him.
Is that the first professional Artanis ever since the slight changes to his kit and the talents?
No, we did see previous ones in other regions.
Okay. Well, in China it is for sure.
And Medivh for BTG. Very interesting drafts by both these teams. So much pressure is being put on Dancing Shoulders here to be the damage output for his team, whereas Olele, he's probably going to have a fair bit of freedom, but Artanis not best known for his disengaged capabilities.
Yeah, once he's stuck in the enemy team's backline, he's basically committed unless he lands a miraculous swap to safety, right? That is pretty much the only escape pod he has. However, with that Medivh, I was starting to get really, really worried about Diablo, right? Tychus already is a strong shredder, and then we have Artanis, who later on gets access to percentage damage as well on his Twin Blades. So yeah, with that being said, the Medivh being one of the few heroes who can actually shut down percentage damage completely by making the target invulnerable. That, of course, being said, he also has the Leyline Seal should he try to go for it. So I like both drafts, kind of. Who are you leaning more towards to?
Excellent question. I think I'm leaning more towards BTG. I've always got to lean towards the Deckard Cain. And LLK. Doesn't surprise me if he's going to be able to make those kind of plays. They've got pretty reasonable power with the Raynor. My only concern is Garrosh. That's pretty much my only concern. The Artanis is odd, but it doesn't immediately make me go, okay, well, they've won.
Now, one thing, of course, we also have to mention is the theoretical counter of Artanis when it comes to dealing with Raynor. You go for the blinds, you go for the suppression pulse, and you have the longest lasting blind in the game. A full 4 seconds without Raynor being able to deal any damage through his basic attacks whatsoever. So, ladies and gentlemen, will the Artanis reign supreme? Or is Medivh, with his first showing on HGC China in this phase, is he going to be enough to protect everybody, including Diablo and his boys? Left-hand side, we see in the blue, team known as Beyond the Game for the second time today, 619, Dancing, Druid, LLK, and Loktar.
And on the other side, it is the A-Team with Jaina, Olele, Stugos, Yitzcook, and the Bruiser. Jaina on Jaina, thank God.
It happened. Finally it happened. And the viewers are no longer getting confused, and the casters can live happily.
I mean, we're always confused. That's not a problem for us.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, when you've been spending 2.5 years, almost 3 years of casting HGC China, you tend to get confused every now and then.
It does happen. Has been known. As we do start off with seeing the amateur opponent, Artanis is fantastic on this map, which is another good reason why she was picked here over someone. Why he was picked here over someone like a Leoric, for example, who is less than stellar in terms of Immortal race.
So far, Artanis not going for the classic standard solo lane approach. Now, Lele, who was actually trying to assist him in that onslaught, ends up getting caught in the meantime while Artanis was safe using the blade dash. So that is unfortunate when the person who's trying to help actually becomes the cannon fodder. But
I really
once again,
enjoy that. That was really smart. Moving in and like getting the appropriate play. Yitzcook will get taken out here. But it was a nice play. The whole idea was.
Wait a minute. He lives.
He's dead. He's not dead. Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, somehow he survives. Good job, Decade Gate. As in comes Bruiser, going to try and punish Dancing or Druid here. Druid getting focused down, but with Loktar arriving, BTG should be able to either disengage or pick up Bruiser here. Bruiser gets a quick shield, but down he goes. Yitzcook tosses 619 away. They might, if he tosses back into his team or into the blizzard, they might have been able to kill him. And now Olele dashes way too far forward.
You're already saved, you fools! Why did you try to chase the kill Beyond the Game? You had just saved Gareth so nicely, and then you end up losing 2 heroes for pure greed reasons. So the A-Team, yep, need to calm down the horses a little bit. They're definitely taking things a little too greedily here. Nice throw, but nothing really happening to Loktar in the result.
Nicely done by the side of BTG, able to regain control of that after their failure to start off the initial kill.
Alright, now that things have settled down a little bit, Beyond the Game is trying to capture this bottom Charizard camp, and I think they're doing exactly that. In the meantime, A-Team, they also realized, you know what, maybe brawling is not the way to victory in this game alone, so we're going to try to get some mercenaries on our side as well. Jaina, by the way, going for the standard builds, it seems. You see Fingers of Frost here at level 1, providing a little bit of extra ability damage after completion once you have enough globes, but also, what is even more important to many Jaina players, the much-needed mana regeneration.
Very much so. And this is the whole idea. Jaina, once again, you're going to be in the center of the map for a while, so assuming you can get enough globes elsewhere, you're going to be a little bit more sustained on the actual objective time. Reina, once again, with Behemoth armor. I'm not sure I agree with it this time. There's not as much CC as we've seen in previous games, so I would have preferred that Fatal Flight for the immediate armor. But I guess she gets Tyke's percentage damage, so I retract my statement.
There we go. The shield countering the minigun. Olele not even stutter stepping or moving out of that stunning circle. So already that is halting and slowing them down quite a little bit. Now almost all the tools have assembled for the A-Team. You still need to be careful though. Jimmy in the meantime, no Exterminator, but still once again that one hero that is slowly but surely going to chip down the enemy Immortal.
Focusing that down pretty quickly, not too much to worry about. As Bruiser comes in, going to join his team for the race. Doesn't land the flip on LLK, who remember is going to be trying to stack that Q. Diablo tries to push Yitzcook as far away from his team as possible, but he is getting focused down by 4 members here as Bruiser tries to solo the objective as the halfway point is reached. Short range portal. Now 619 to escape. The Dragon Queen already being burned though. They're looking to try and put on some pressure.
Yeah, Uriel arriving a little too late here. Now let's check the Immortals' health bars. We see A-Team took a little bit of a beating here. They definitely had to retreat. And with that being said, already I think, you know, the 3-man unit coming in from Beyond the Game they're definitely going to have enough manpower to actually defend this blue Immortal up to this point. Rainer dancing, now trying to do his solo thing. Actually, take back what I said here. It looks like A-Team is actually building up enough presence here to force Rainer away from this.
They're certainly trying to burn through. Eats Cook drops very low as well. And the Immortal is gained by the A-Team, but BTG attempting to at minimum get a kill, and they found Artanis with the least escape on this team. And they're able to finish him off. Portal is used by LOK, almost super greedy, but he is able to escape.
He's able to escape. So they ended up trading one Artanis for an Immortal that has probably 40% of its shield. So I think that is an okay trade. I mean, once again, because of that kill and because it happened so late, they won't be able to initially, you know, support this push, right? So this Immortal is probably going to go poof in a couple of minutes. So it was not a loss. It was not a win. The game remains its status quo, I think. At least they're going to get one tower, maybe a second one. Oh, the Immortal actually ignored that tower, went straight for the fort. That was weird.
It does that now.
Yeah.
It did it earlier today as well. Best not to think about it. As we see the A-Team moving up the top lane. Shield Surge coming in for Artanis. Standard talent these days for him when he is picked. Gives him the most sustain.
All right, we see once again the split of those side camps. With all the initial aggression that actually happened earlier, it's pretty interesting to see how both teams are now referring to more standard passive means. Oh man, sometimes when you have a Medivh in your game, you just feel so damn good about it. All those portals with the protection against Gareth tosses.
Assuming he can keep his stacks. If he's able to keep his stacks, then he's also going to be there leading them into the late game, but that's still going to be a bit of a challenge. We will be keeping an eye on that, seeing if he is able to pull that off.
All right, Jaina can poke down a little bit here. Takes the fountain, tries to keep this lane as safe as possible. Needs to catch the train though, needs to be in sync with the rest of her teammates as well there. Diablo is just too tanky, the shield is good too. The swap tries to go after Medivh, but Bruiser unfortunately up to this point needs to be a little more accurate with those.
Medivh, by the way, Force of Magic, not going for the Arcane Explosions this time. True. The extra ability power to his team. He has apparently completed his stacks, I assume that's what it is showing us.
Yeah, it looks like Master's Touch is completed, I believe, for Medivh. I mean, they did have plenty of opportunity to actually, you know, have a couple of brawls in the early game. Now Garrosh a little bit in trouble yet again, has to fully disengage, goes back in, tries to be a little cheekier, but needs to be so cautious.
Very aggressive, but unable to finish the job as they immediately turn onto the Immortal, beginning to burn that down. 619 takes up position to be the Punisher as Jada is being very far forward, but not the target yet. They finally dive it. Quick toss by Garrosh, shuts that down. Swap by Bruiser, getting into the backline onto Rainer. This is the immediate target as once again Loktar is in the backline via the portal. Great job. LOK comes back to help as well. Everyone's through the portal and Garrosh goes down too.
Beyond the Game is executing this Medivh combo like it should be. So well done overall. They secure themselves a tremendous lead on the Immortal. Almost an entire level lead as well. And still 2 members gone. One of the Alliance, one of the Horde. A-Team is not fully fighting back here up to this point, unfortunately. And that Thatcher very well might be a full shield, full HP Immortal.
Looking pretty good for him as they begin to burn down the remaining health of the Immortal. Loktar even just leaps on it for a little bit of help and extra damage. And they are going to back up.
Yep.
Quick zoning coming in from Molele is enough to dissuade, at least temporarily.
And I love this. I love this play. You know, sometimes teams actually make a mistake. Hold that thought. Medivh saving, dancing in need, but the portal unfortunately was not near enough for Rainer to escape for it. And now the portal is on cooldown, and LLK all of a sudden might be the target on the silver platter. Diablo bodyguarding Medivh though.
Surprise Diablo from over the wall. Medivh gets flipped in, but gets so much healing, gets flipped into the abundance. Comes back through the portal to help out as the lightning breath is being used. Bruiser is being focused out on the other side as lightning breath completely zones everyone else out. Garrosh is going to be the target here as they just chase him down.
They're going to chase him down. The slows by Irel are real. The portal even better with those familiars and the slows on the basic attacks. They're gonna finally bring him down. Took him long enough. And level 10 is here. Lifebinder by Alexstrasza. Looks like they're really respecting all that percentage damage, all that burst damage coming in from Jaina and Tychus. So yeah, another healing tool can also be, aligned very nicely with that Medivh shield. So you shield the target with a life binder on it to guarantee a 100% trigger.
So down goes the fallen Bruiser camp, the fallen Shaman. That's going to be pushing into the bottom lane. So it's going to be split pushing while this Immortal pushes through as everyone begins to rotate up to it. Except for Diablo right now. He is going to be the one soloing against Artanis, at least for the moment.
That's interesting. I think it was because of spontaneous lane distributions. I don't think it was their grand master plan from the get-go. But Diablo's now slowly but surely making his way up to the top lane. Level 10 is here. Suppression pulls. Odin pop immediately. The A-Team, they're posturing up for a defense here.
They're going to try and hold this Leyline Seal. Lands as they dive through as the Lord Nado gives them the escape route as Locktar gets rooted. Diablo, a little bit far forward, but it's going to drop the Lightning Breath onto Jaina, who just chunks him as Lifebinder is going to be used.
Easy full HP here for the Lord of Terror. As long as Alexstrasza is full HP, that target is also going to be saved tremendously. It's cooked, tries to survive for now. Medivh ends up falling almost. Great portal.
Oh, man. That port, like you said, that portal was super clutch. Clutch heal from Alexstrasza as well to help him out as they move forward. Flip lands on the dragon. Druid gets tossed. He's in serious trouble. Pulling back though, the team dives with him to help him out. Immortal goes down though, and the portal says absolutely not. Druid has no help, but the force of
Druid, no way!
Oh, Lele though picks up the kill.
Picks up the kill. A-Team 1 for 1. We don't have the support on the side of BTG now, but that stopped them? I don't think so. Locktar going in like a mad woman, using the portal as an escape here. Great play by Beyond the Game. You know, minimizing their losses. And overall, if you look at the XP, if you look at the structural values they gained, a pretty good outcome for them.
Nicely done by BTG. That looked like a disaster. Second Diablo was flipped over, but Yrel jumps over to be a distraction. Portal goes down, and everyone is able to escape. It was a little shaky, but BTG continued to hold a lead.
Man, Tetcher, I'm starting to get more and more impressed the more matches I watch of Beyond the Game. They show us not only really good team fighting, really good play altogether, but also the variety of play styles they have, right? Not only do they have Locktar as their fresh solo laner, off laner, but also now they play in the deep. Before that, they played a standard game. We also saw a couple of funky assassin choices in the past from them. So yeah, what is going to stop them up to this point? The A-Team is looking good every now and then. They just can't seem to be able to defend their structures.
Don't know about stopping them, but Lord Nado will certainly slow them down for a second as they turn around. Here comes the Odin to try and zone them out as well as minions are running out. Locktar leaps onto Olele for a little bit of poke, but they are going to pull back.
Pulling back for now, but A-Team, are they going to pick up the chase here? Looks like Garrosh is too low for now. Artanis, Odin in trouble. Lightning Breath goes through.
Stu goes dropping very low. Flip from Bruiser prevents it. Warp Sickness as well to prevent the chase. That's just going to be it. Force of Will dancing backs up.
So sick, by the way, to see the patience of the support player of Beyond the Game, of Druid as well. Nah, he doesn't, like, Lifebinder isn't even a long cooldown, right? It comes back relatively quickly. But even then, he remains his calm. Even then, he realizes, you know what? If I don't have to use it, I'm not going to waste it. I'm not going to do it. So with the help of Medivh, like those two players in particular are going to have really good communication amongst themselves, right? As long as Medivh has a shield, there doesn't have to be a Lifebinder immediately. So really cool to see how these abilities are not overlapping one another, how they maintain their calm. Look at that though, Garrosh once again found out in the open.
So he survives, at least for the moment. With the suppression pulse also being burned, that's going to allow Reyna to move forward and start burning this Immortal very quickly. Locktar dropping low. Heals up though, thanks to the abundance.
Bet he does. The Immortal is nonetheless taking damage, while the blue one, the one of Beyond the Game, is still in perfect condition. Jaina trying to make a flank happen there, but Locktar on the Yrel should have plain vision of him. Trying to go all the way behind the enemy lines for dancing on that Rainer.
Dancing gets out though via the portal. He's now behind enemy lines, blasting away at Garrosh. Needs to get back through the portal. Portal disappears. Lifebinder though keeps him alive. A little bit of it is denied via the anti-healing as Bruiser gets taken out first. Dancing still lived.
Wow. I mean, once again, we mentioned Medivh and Alexstrasza. Look at that portal as well. The familiars are slowing everybody down. Medivh a little bit too overzealous here in that moment though. So nonetheless, although they had to lose, or they were losing Medivh here as a casualty, the overall communication and focus fire is just on point by Beyond the Game. With that little halftime show buying a couple of seconds, Medivh should make it back in time. Look at that move, 619, not staying in the middle. He realized, you know what, I'm almost about to run out of mana, so I'm going to take that healing fountain right here, right now. A-Team though, they're grouping in, they're marching in. Can they actually rally in time to save that Immortal at least for a little bit longer?
Jaina burns Ice Block very quickly as Loktar chases down, but that Blizzard is enough to dissuade Loktar as he has to leap backwards, eating a lot of damage. This dissuasion, Bruiser and Olele just charging forward with Eatscook. Has a nice charge into the Taunt, preventing the portal from going through, but Lifebinder keeps Diablo nice and topped up, and Dancing might not be so lucky, gets rooted, but the Lornado does not trap him. He pulls back glorious heal from LLK as they turn it round and take down Bruiser.
So much protection, the impenetrable defense here on the side of Beyond the Game. They have the shields, they have the heals, and they have two beefy frontliners. Most importantly, Diablo here with yet again another Lifebinder. We had Loktar on Urel with that beautiful Ardent Defender waiting until its usage until the end of that team fight. Actually, so sick. Beyond the Game is just outplaying A-Team on so many fronts right now.
Very impressive indeed. Looking great right now as we see BTG just shredding through the remainder of the Immortal. And they are going to be pushing in for keeps at this point because that forted bot lane is as good as dead here.
Yep. Medivh is cawing from a bird's eye of view and just watching every step of the A-Team. No surprise here. I think he probably could have predicted that without seeing it. Actually, as well, if they were trying to do that mercenary camp. But here, Catcher, ladies and gentlemen, once again, a full HP, full shield Immortal. It is on the bottom lane because that is still the more healthy lane. But the Fallen Shaman camp is basically a couple of meters away from it. So are the minions. This could very well be a dangerous push for the A-Team if they defend this too aggressively.
Certainly tries. They push in BTG with the Odin from the A-Team trying to zone them away. Suppression Pulse is available too. Diablo goes very deep. Ancient Blessings is dropped though from the defending A-Team to get some counter damage in. Double taunt from Garrosh on both the front lines as the Dragon continues to zone away the backline members of the A-Team.
Yep, Dancing took a little bit of damage, gets healed by the Dragon Queen immediately. Loktar, of course, has his own self-sustain. They're just so tanky, they're so hard to kill, but so is the A-Team. They're quite resilient, they're not going down without a fight. Here goes the Leyline Seal, Garrosh is about to fall, down goes the Orc, and Artanis might be the next on the menu actually. That Blade Dash does not get him to safety. The Immortal is pounding on the core as well against the A-Team, losing 2 members, potentially 3 if Stugos falls as well. This might be GG Tetcher Beyond the Game. They're bringing down the core to 50. They're still focusing on enemy team members though. Just go for the core, right click it, and bring that game home.
They begin to, it's down to 50%. 619 comes back in. Urel just wrecks the backline while the rest of the team takes down the core. Tychus is down, and BTG, with time, as they do go for the full team wipe, will take game number 1.
Yeah, just trying to improve and polish their KDAs a little bit here. I think BTG it is, and why not? They were in such a commanding lead from start to finish. Not only did their draft featuring Medivh and Alexstrasza work like an absolute charm, they also had full control, especially in those early game rotations where they found one member of the A-Team after